What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap, man, as the Lakers take care of business and 20-piece the Mavericks, 124 to 104. Today, man, on February 12th, right before we head into All-Star break, exactly what we needed to do. Bounce back win after the last loss. This was very fun game to watch. Very fun game to watch. Everybody having fun. And, they leave us with a good taste in our mouth heading into All-Star break. So, again, the Lakers will be 12 games over 500 at 32 and 21, which leaves us in a pretty decent place in the NBA standings. It leaves us in a pretty good place here before All-Star break. Again, we are currently in sixth at 33 and 21, and we're like a game and a half from the fifth seed and 2 games behind the fourth seed for the Rockets and so on and so forth. So I think it's something that needed to happen. The Lakers need to come out here, take care of business. A lot of fun. LeBron James was spectacular, man. Shout out LeBron, man. LeBron came out here, 28 points, all right, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. All right, Father Time is undefeated, but this guy is holding it back, all right, with a block, turned back the clock tonight. 21 for Rui. Okay, Rui was also very nice tonight. I mean, a lot of Lakers were, but again, we're going up against the Mavs, so we can only take it with a grain of salt. But 21 for Rui, man. He did his thing. He came in here and had an efficient night, 9 for 13 from the field, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal, plus 18. Jake LaRabia, all right, Jake, 11 points, 4 for 6, efficient as well. 16 for Jackson Hayes. We can't say enough good things about Jackson Hayes, guys. We cannot say enough good things about Jackson Hayes and just how good he has been for the Lakers this season. All right, so shout out to Jax, all right, for taking care of business tonight. 16 points, 8 for 10, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals and a block. Mr. Energy, Mr. Efficiency, and Mr. Leader in plus minus tonight, plus 26, all right? Marcus Smart chipped in with 9, didn't have the best shooting night, 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. He did have 6 assists with 0 turnovers and a steal and a block, so shout out to him for that. Kleba came in with some good minutes, 2 for 3 from the field. Vando hit a 3. It's always nice to see Vando hit a 3. 18 for Reeves, just a smooth operator back there. 5 for 10 from the field. Had about 9 free throws, 6 assists as well as 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers. So not bad at all. And then Kobe Buffkin didn't play. Of course, Bronny James only played 2 minutes. My thing is, right, and I love the way the Lakers played tonight, but it was a suck-ass team. Let's not act like the Mavericks aren't trash, right? They were trash. Now, my thing is, right, we made this Kobe Buffkin signing, and he hasn't really played much. He's played 1 game, and that was the 1 game where everybody sat, right, since we signed him. Why did the Lakers do that if they weren't going to play him? Remember, I questioned that when they first signed him. Why did the Lakers do that if they weren't going to play him? That's my only question. Like, I like Kobe Buffkin, but maybe he wasn't ready for the Lakers this year. Maybe Rob Pelinka just noticed he went crazy in the G League and decided to lock him up for the future. But shouldn't we be trying to improve this year? There was many pieces out there that we could have improved with this season. And, Sohan was one of them. He just went to the Knicks. Another one was, Alvarado, who got traded to the Knicks as well. Cam Thomas on the Bucks. These were pieces that could have helped us right now. I could have stepped in right now. Again, this game was irrelevant because, again, we just beat the 19 and 35 Dallas Mavericks. But I'd still feel a lot more safer if we had some veterans there instead of – and, again, I like Kobe's talent. Don't get me wrong. Not shitting on the young buck. But all I'm saying is we could have definitely used somebody that's a little bit more grizzled for the Lakers. All right. But, again, the Lakers jumped out. Got a 36-31 first quarter. Dallas kept it close in the second quarter, outscoring LA slightly, and we only had a 1-point lead at halftime. But again, third quarter, the Lakers have been pulling away all year. We outscored the Mavs 32-19 in that third, and we built a double-digit lead. And and we made a nice little run with some strong defense and transition play. And then LeBron went crazy. Right. And then in the fourth quarter, we cruised, adding another 28-22, seal out victory, man. So I'm just happy. I'm just happy that the Lakers took care of business. That's what we had to do. We had to do it. Now, I'm not excited that it was against this team, but we knew that, any night somebody could step up and have a big night. By the way, shout out to the Mavs, man. They got some young workhorses out there. I'm definitely like what Max Christie brings. We miss him. He had 19.7 for 12 from the field. Brandon Williams was 17. Najee Marshall, always been a fan of him. 8 for 13 from the field for 19. PJ Washington with 18. Like most of the starters really popped off, to keep this competitive at least for one half. So credit to him. Cattle Guy said JJ needs to play a dude with the core to help him develop. I agree with this. Me and my guy don't always agree, but I definitely agree with this. I think Adu Thero could be one of the wings we've been looking for. He's supremely athletic. He shows some good defensive instincts. He's still very raw. He's still very raw. He reminds me of like Giannis's brother as far as being raw and underdeveloped, and I hope he doesn't become that ultimately. But he's still very raw right now, so he's going to take some time for sure. But I would like to see him get some playing time with the main rotation pieces because that's how you get better. And so, let's see what happens. Thanks. Appreciate super chat, Cattle Guy. He said, and that's why we didn't sign Cam and why he probably didn't want to come due to the lack of usage, minutes, and shots. Those young guys care more about the bag and shots. We should have still signed Cam Thomas. We could have used his, we could have for sure used his production off the bench. You can't convince me otherwise, D-Free. We could have, who here agrees that the Lakers should have signed Cam Thomas over Kobe Buffkin? I'm curious. Because Kobe Buffkin didn't play because they don't trust him. And so why sign a player you don't trust, especially for the playoffs? We saw this happen last year. We signed players that, like Jordan Goodwin, who were good in regular season, and in the playoffs, they got minimal minutes. And so I'm not saying Cam Thomas for sure a guy you can trust, but he's 24. He's been in the league for quite some time. And he's somebody that I feel like he could have helped this Lakers bench. We haven't had a good bench elite scorer since Malik Monk. And before that, Lou Williams. So it would have been nice to have one, even if he doesn't get utilized always. But certain matchups, you can just unleash him and let him go and cook off the bench. And he's been doing that for the Bucks. Matter of fact, I think the Bucks beat the Thunder tonight. I don't see what he scored, but the first night he dropped 35. We should have signed him for sure. He said, it's not about trying to convince you, despite him literally being the worst defender in the NBA. You're discounting everything I said about him and his usage. Are we giving him 20 shots a game? No, but maybe he could have 10 off the bench. He doesn't need 20. Maybe he could have 10 or 15 off the bench, depending on how the night is going. I think, I'm saying Luke Kennard came in here and he's a little gun shy, but I don't think Cam Thomas, that would be a problem with him. Off the bench is a lot different, man. He's a walking, talking book, and sometimes you can use players like that. Let me ask you this, D-Free, and I'm not discounting anything you say. I'm just disagreeing with everything you're saying. Let me ask you this. Sometimes you got to make it fit, man. Sometimes it's not about, what fits in. It's about, is this guy a certified bucket or not? I'm not looking for him to come in here and be a playmaker or a defender or any of that. We're not looking for Kennard to be any of those things. We look for Kennard to be a shooter. Same way we look for Kennard to be a shooter, and he's been pretty solid for us, by the way. I look for Cam to come out here and just give us some minutes and some good, valuable scoring minutes. I've seen scorers like him win games entirely. I'm not looking for him to be Vando. I'm not looking for him to be anything else, just to be Cam Thomas. And I think Cam Thomas would have fit perfectly here on this team off the bench. We don't have a player like him unless you're going to leave Austin there. Austin is a player like him, but he does it more efficiently, right? But I don't think we're going to leave Austin off the bench. I just think he's currently on minute restrictions. I miss Max dearly, but he also not wired as a score-first guard. Max Christie, again, when we made the trade, I said Max Christie, it hurts me. It hurts me more to lose Max Christie because he's young and up and coming versus AD being older and injury prone. So it actually hurt me more. I said it on the live stream. Go back and rewind it when we first traded AD away for Luka. Hurt me more to lose Max Christie because I felt like that was a piece we could have utilized and held on. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. We're going to get a player of that caliber, so be it. Certain matchups or every game being a number one option, Dan, when you are looking for as much salary as possible versus maybe getting 10 off the bench, a role he doesn't want. I don't know if he wouldn't have wanted it, but we didn't offer it. The Lakers didn't offer it. They turned around and just handed that contract to Kobe Buffkin. So we don't know. You're talking about the opportunity to shine on the biggest stage or shine in Milwaukee. I think he could have did okay with that. With this opportunity here. He's actually trying to prove that he isn't a Lou Will type player. Well, I mean, he's not going to prove that in Milwaukee. He's not going to prove that in Milwaukee, my guy. Kennard is a veteran. He's a 6 years older. You're not understanding that Cam wants his stats to get the max. He wanted 35 million last summer. Well, what you're not understanding is he might not get his stats to get the max, but if he played well here as a designated six man, maybe somebody gives him 25 to 30. Maybe he doesn't get 35 plus, but he most likely ain't gonna get that in Milwaukee playing irrelevant basketball. Nobody's gonna look at him in Milwaukee and be like, "Oh shit, he dropped 35, but the Bucks still suck." You know, if he would have came to the Lakers and actually helped us, and we made a deep postseason run, and he was in the midst of that. We've seen role players get paid. We've seen Malik Monk get what, 19 mil, 18, 19. So it could have happened, man. I think you're underestimating the power of the Lakers and what it is to play on the biggest platform and the biggest stage. You know, and I don't think he would have turned that down. I don't think the Lakers offered it though. They already had Kobe Buffkin, and you said it yourself. They had him. They were ready to sign him day one. You know, as soon as they got an opportunity, they did that. So could we use that? Yes, but did he want to come? If he signed, he did. We don't sign Kobe. If he signaled, he did. We don't sign Kobe. I don't think so, bro. I don't think Rob Pelinka even tried. Rob Pelinka gave away that roster spot so quickly. I don't really think that's the problem I've had with. The only problem I have with Rob is he sucks at getting the right role players and recruiting the right pieces. He absolutely stinks at it. There's been many years when we look at the trade deadline. We're like, oh, this piece would be great. Oh, that piece would be great. Rob Pelinka is nowhere near those pieces. He goes completely the opposite. You know, we think a 6'7" wing would be awesome. He goes and he gets a 6'3" guard in free agency like Gabe Vincent, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'm gonna say is that there was like a couple of pieces that we could have acquired, and the New York Knicks got those pieces. They did. Whether it's a fit or not, you make it happen, man. You're talking about a 22-year-old athletic defensive guy. I would have went for Jeremy Sohan, but the Knicks did. Good for them. They acquired him. And if Rob did inquire about this guy and didn't land him, then that's a Rob problem. That's another thing that goes against him. Same thing with Alvarado. I mentioned Alvarado at the trade deadline. I was like, he'd be a great backup point guard to the Lakers, give us energy. He's feisty, plays defense. You know, other teams are moving like Rob isn't. So I think we're both agree in a sense that maybe we don't agree on the player we should have pursued, but we both agreed that maybe they signed Kobe Buffkin prematurely. Maybe, you know, if they did want to sign Kobe Buffkin, they should have let go of one of the other guys they're not using, whether it's Dalton, Bronny. We know that'll never happen, but Bronny, somebody else is being buried. Why get another player to bury him on the end of the bench? That's my only problem. I have no problem with signing Kobe. I think he's a great young talent, but if you're not going to use him, there's no point. That's all I got to say. And there's already 2 DMPs, and the only game he actually played was the one where LeBron, Luka, and Reeves all sat. That's not a good omen for us, you know? He said, it's going to miss LeBron too. I'm a Kobe guy, and I love how he played today. Oh, yeah, LeBron will be missed. A lot of people are not big fans of his or whatever, but I always appreciate greatness, man. And LeBron is not replaceable. He's one of one, right? Just like all the greats that came before. There's one-on-ones. They always say the next Kobe, the next this, the next LeBron. They said Ben Simmons was the next LeBron. Hell no. They said, who else did they say? Wiggins was the next Kobe. Hell no. When will people realize that there's not the next stuff? There's similarities in their game. Like when people look at Ant, they say the next Michael Jordan. Similarities. I don't see Michael Jordan, you know, but there's similarities. And there's always going to be similarities, right? But it's offensive when they say, who said it recently? I think it was Meta, and I love Meta World Peace, but I think recently he said that Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah Arenas, was the next Kobe Bryant. It's like, bro, that's not fair to the kid. You're already setting such a high bar that when he doesn't reach it, people are going to start hating on him, you know? Not fair to the kid, but there's only one-on-one, man, and it's just, it is what it is. Yeah, he would get paid, but he could have gotten paid if he accepted a role in Brooklyn. That's the thing. It's not you or me, it's him. I see you're not a fan of Cam, but I'll tell you, for me personally, it's not precisely that I wanted Cam. It's just that every player that I thought would have been a good fit for the Lakers didn't get. They went with a player who they're not even playing, you know, and again, I like Kobe Buffkin's everything about him. I like what he did for the South Bay Lakers, and maybe he has a bright future. I'm not trying to shit on him. But I really thought the Lakers could have used a ready now guy who's ready to go, that maybe somebody JJ trusted, or maybe JJ just wants to keep running bullshit 9-man rotations and doesn't want to trust anybody, so it doesn't matter who you put in front of him if he's not going to play him, right? I don't know. But I think this playoffs, We're gonna have a lot of answers, a lot of questions answered about JJ. Cam is Rob's type, small scoring combo guard. I wouldn't be surprised, he said, if he tampered and knew where he was going. I don't know. Still disappointed that he gift wrapped it that roster spot, knowing that we had needs on this team for sure. And again, I just want somebody who's going to play. I have more of an issue with Rob not getting better fake players. He did move too fast on the KB. I do think KB was promised that spot. He was still on South Bay Lakers for zero reason. I blame JJ. They shouldn't go promising spots. They should have, again, that's the impatience. They should sit back and wait and see what's available. Don't you agree? I think, this is where we lack in the GM department. Like, what are we doing? There's still good pieces out there right now. So the fact that, the fact that we gave it away so quickly and it's not, it's not anything that's playing is what really truly bothers me for sure. All right, we got a super chat. Let's get it, man.
All right, Master DTLF will be excited with the super chat. Come on, Bucket Dudes, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Thanks for the super chat, brother. He said, "Man, I missed the game, but I know I could catch you, Dan. Rock on." Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? This was a fun game, actually. This was fun, but it was kind of expected. I was not really threatened by the Mavs. I was just hoping that the Lakers actually came out and took care of business. They did. So congratulations. 124 to 104. LeBron was great. Like I mentioned, Rui was great. Jackson Hayes was amazing. Austin Reeves came off the bench and did his thing. Like, this was a game where we did what we had to do. And we've been doing that for the most part this season, which is why we're 12 games over 500 right now, heading into All-Star break. We're 12 games over 500. We're on pace to hit 50 again, right? We're at 33 and 21, and we're only a couple of games behind 5, 4, and third seed. So if the Lakers do make a push in the second half of the season, I always call it the second half after All-Star break because that's the most important half, right? So you get the final 30 games or so plus the postseason. That's a half. That's a half of a year. So the Lakers, if they come out poised and ready, I feel like a lot of people are already discarding us. I know we have some lapses and stuff like that, but I do think this team has a lot of potential. We haven't seen it yet because we haven't seen Austin, LeBron, and Luka play together for an extended period of time. But I think if those three can gel in the final part of the season, sky's the limit for this Lakers squad, right? Anything can happen. I'm not saying we're favorites to come out of the West. I'm not saying we're a contender, none of that, because they haven't proven that yet. But there's still time for them to get it right? We haven't beat the OKCs and teams of that magnitude, the Detroit Pistons, the top teams in the league. We've lost them. Matter of fact, we've even gotten blown out by them. But in each and every single one of these matchups, we have not been 100% healthy yet. And I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm using that as a question mark. I feel like the Lakers are probably the biggest question mark team heading into All-Star break. Like, we don't know what we are yet. We kind of have an idea, and I feel like obviously if we don't play defense, if we don't lock in, and we don't play together as a unit on the defensive end, we're going to suck in the second half, and we're going to, maybe even fall into the play-in tournament. But if the Lakers do buy in, play defense, play the right rotation pieces, if JJ could play more than 9 guys on the rotation, and if we could stay healthy, I know that's asking for a lot. I just mentioned 5 things off the top. I think the Lakers will have a chance to compete in the second half and become really interesting because I still like Luka. I still love LeBron, and I still love Austin. Like, I still like those guys together, and I can't wait to see. Again, we've seen them, 10 games together or less this season. So to me, they're a big question mark, and I can't wait for the second half of the season. Now, we have 8 days off from here till next week till the Lakers play again. Luka, JJ Redick gave us the update pregame. He said he'll most likely be available after a post All-Star break. So that's good. That's good news. Austin, they kept on a minute restriction. It gives him more time to heal. That's great. LeBron looked like a young man rumbling tonight. Awesome. All things, got us feeling good heading into All-Star break, but we still have a long way to go. Defensively, we haven't been a very good team this year. I think we're in the bottom half of the league this year, although we show strides and we show improvement from time to time, but then we kind of take our foot off the gas a little bit, Again, we have a lot of areas to improve. We do have players I like that I would like to see get more minutes, like Adu Thero, but we don't know how raw they are and how ready they are, right? Be careful what you ask for. So Let's see. He said, to play devil's advocate, Cam would have left this summer with a bench role. Like Monk, Kobe can at least develop into a useful player. I get that, and I like Kobe. Again, I'm not trying to. This isn't an anti-Kobe rant. This is a more anti-Rob Pelinka. Because, like, damn, bro, I get it that we didn't make a splash in the trade deadline, but you could have made us feel good about the buyout had you got Jeremy Sohan or Cam Thomas or somebody that can come in right away and become a rotation piece, right? I think that's all we wanted. I think that's what Laker fans wanted. We got one. Luke Kennard, who, by the way, again tonight looked very solid. Luke Kennard has looked really, really solid in each and every single one of these games for the Lakers. Tonight he had 9 points efficiently, 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. He also had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. And guess what, guys? It's a pretty good ball handler because he had 0 turnovers and he was plus 13 off the bench. This guy has been miles and miles and miles better than anything Gabe Vincent even could have, you know what I'm saying, like sniffed in his Laker career. So credit to Luke Kennard and credit to Rob Pelinka for acquiring him. Like, we did make one acquisition and it was an addition by subtraction, by addition. But, you know, I think I would have loved to see, if not Cam, at least a defensive wing there. You know, if not Cam Thomas, I'm gonna die on the hill saying Cam Thomas would have been a great acquisition for us. I still believe that. But if not Cam Thomas, Highsmith or Jeremy Sohan or something that we could have utilized that maybe would have been out there kind of meshing a little bit, you know, because it would have been, imagine we got Sohan and you throw him out there in a lineup with Vando. I know it's not much shooting there, but Vando, Sohan with LeBron, with Austin, and with Luka. That's interesting because now you can go small ball. Now you got wing depth, you got athleticism, and you got defense, you got rebounding, you got a little bit of everything. You can get away with that versus some teams. I'm not a big fan of small ball, but I'm just saying it would give the coaching staff different options. And it's a word me and D Free always like to use, optionality. Optionality is a real thing, right? So it would have been nice. It would have been nice to see it. But again, I'm not going to sit here and complain after a win. We get the win. We're 12 games over 500. And, you know, things are looking kind of up right now. We're getting healthier, so that's huge. We just got to do Thero back. Hopefully we get Luka back after the All-Star break. And, you know, and you never know. Again, 12 games over 500. We're kind of on the same pace as we were last year before All-Star break. So kind of comparable now. Now, that playoff matchup in the first round is going to be interesting because if you can win the first one, then you can have, you know, if you can win the first one, then you have a chance to maybe build some momentum, you know, moving forward. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll take some comments and questions now, guys. It's not really going to break down this game much because, you know, it was an easy win on paper. Said, Dan, I was watching an NBA podcast focused on cap sheets. The Lakers were not able to sign Cam Thomas. Being waived and being bought are two different things. We would have needed close to $6 million. Well, I'm sure we could have cut somebody to make it happen, man, or we could have gave them a promise or something. I mean, I at least wanted rumors that we were involved, at least, man. Well, like I said, if it wasn't Cam Thomas, what about Sohan? What about Sohan? What about anybody who would have helped us right now? That's all I'm saying, you know, because this team, it almost feels like it's on the brink of being something special, but it's not quite there yet. But again, it feels like the team's going to ramp up in the second half and they're actually going to take it serious. That's the type of team the LeBron-led teams have been like that during the Lakers era. You know, he usually ramps up in the second half after the All-Star break. And we've seen tremendous runs to put us in the top 3, top 4 in the West. And then next thing you know, we're looking positive. But then in the playoffs, it all comes down crashing and burning. You know, so yeah. He said, yeah, we would have to cut someone and someone had to take their contract. I would have did that. I would have did that for Cam Thomas because, again, we have players that don't play. You know, we have players that do not play. So if that's the case, we were stuck. There's no way to get that money off your books without a trade. Cutting doesn't do anything. You still pay that player. Rob has to figure that out. That's why he's the GM. He has to figure it out to give us flexibility. You would have, because he said, you know, this is Rob's words, not mine. He said, we're going to go into the buyout market and see what's there. So pretty much he's throwing his name out in the hat as a player. If he was not aware that he wouldn't be able to sign players, he wouldn't have said that, right? So again, I don't know. I feel like Rob Pelinka is always afraid to get rejected. Remember when LeBron first signed here? He didn't want to meet with Rob Pelinka. He wanted to meet with Magic only. And so I feel like, I don't know, maybe Rob Pelinka is not a great talker, in free agency. Maybe he's just not that great. Maybe he's good at cutting deals and doing stuff and making trades, but he's probably not a great talker as far as getting guys to come over here. Maybe that's part of the issue. Again, I'm looking at Rob like, bro, come on. You said, but I don't think that's actually the case. I have to go back and look. Yeah, it's irrelevant at this point. We are fifth. As of right now, this is the roster we're going to go into the postseason with, assuming the postseason started today. Now, obviously, you mentioned it yourself, right, D-Free? If we get closer towards the end of the postseason, you can sign somebody on a prorated discount if you cut somebody, right? But it's irrelevant, right? As of right now, this is the team. This is the team we're going with. This is the team we're going with, unless otherwise, unless there's a move out of left field where Rob Pelinka goes, oh, I like Highsmith. Let's go ahead and cut Dalton, or let's go ahead and cut Maxi Kleber or somebody. Rob is just a master of punting. It feels that way. That's my point. It truly feels that way. Like he's just been punting every season. And he goes, oh, next year. It's like, bro, how many years are we wasting here? We're ready for the now. We have Luka now. We have LeBron now. We have Austin now. Right. And at the very least, he could have made some fringe moves to open up cap, to sign a free agent. Because you always know in the buyout market, there's always going to be an intriguing name. To sign a Jeremy, to sign a Cam. He could have did something, but he didn't. He chose the easy route. And like you said, Rob's a master of punting. As Sharon says, the two players that went to Cleveland, I know we already had Schroeder, but him and Ellis guy are helping Cleveland a lot. Oh, yeah. Teams, you could tell who were the buyers and who weren't. We weren't a buyer in this trade deadline. We weren't a buyer at all. We were a buyer in the last trade deadline when we got Luka. We were a huge buyer. But it's almost like Rob is saying, you know what? That Luka trade should last us for 2-3 seasons. We should not be saying a word after landing the Luka trade. Thing is, Lakers fans want to keep competing. They don't want to look 2-3 years down the road. They want to compete right now, right? So February 16th is when you can sign someone if you get a spot. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if they get a spot, though, because Rob he loves the easy road. Rob just been waiting for LeBron James to finally retire, but the MFer won't quit. Nah, man, I don't know what Rob's waiting for. LeBron might outlast Rob Pelinka. Wouldn't it be ironic if Rob Pelinka gets fired and LeBron comes back with a pay cut with the new GM because he built a new relationship? That would be, that would be interesting, right? Like, just imagine if you're waiting for LeBron James to retire, but you end up getting retired before LeBron does. That would be nuts, man. But again, that's neither here or there. It is what it is. I'm just glad we won tonight. And again, we go into All-Star break with a good feeling. With a good feeling to us, knowing that, okay, maybe they'll turn up in the second half. They pulled away and they took care of business. That's all we can ask. That is it, chat. So comments, questions, concerns, I'm all yours for the next 10, 15 minutes, guys. Let's see. Rob could have just asked him to leave. No reason to play games. Talk to him, Sharon. Talk to him. MT says, I appreciate LeBron, but ready for him to move on. He nukes the confidence of role players. That's putting a lot on LeBron James. Like, if you're a role player, no one star player, coach, or fan should nuke your confidence. If your confidence is that nukeable, then you were never Laker material, because it's really tough. There's a couple places that's really tough to play in, and you need to have really thick skin to play in it. Los Angeles is one of them. New York is another one. Boston, as much as I hate to admit it, is another place. You have to be built like a star to play your role properly, even role players here. You have to really be fearless, man. That's why Austin has thrived here. That's why players in the past like Malik Monk, Lou Williams have thrived here. They're not afraid of the bright lights. All right. And then there's other players that were afraid of them. Malik Beasley. Right. There's other players that were completely shell-shocked when they came here. They came here, had the worst career of the year of their season, and then they turned around and had a career year after they left the Lakers. That tells you that these guys were scared, man. They were scary, fam. And they were not Laker material, simply put. He said, Bishop said, I hope changes are coming to the front office as well as Rob. Me and you both. I think Laker fans ready for it, man. DTLF, I don't think Luka trusts Rob either. Well, who knows? Luka's a very nice guy, man. But he's very intelligent, so who knows? We don't know right now how Luka's thinking or what he's thinking. All I know is that Luka is here till 2028, 2029, which means the Lakers are on probation. They better not be punting too many seasons like this away because Luka's looking at all that. He could easily walk. He could do it. He could do it. He said, Luka ages too, you know. He won't be 27 or 28 for too long. Time to start building around him ASAP, but Rob keeps on procrastinating. D Prince, I agree, man. I agree. And Luka's not getting any younger, neither is Austin Reeves. They're about the same age. And they're both going to get older. Once they hit their 30s, if we're still in this position, you can kiss them bye, either via trade or via them leaving in free agency, because nobody's going to want to stick around and waste their entire prime on a Dollar General rebuild plan, right? It's not going to work. And Rob is going to get exposed if he doesn't have at least a finals appearance by here to then, right? So, yeah, I mean, the pressure's on for Rob right now. I don't know if Rob's going to stick around that much, to be honest. I think Mark Welter is the type to come in here and just, just kill everybody off and send them packing. I think he could. I think he really could. Dan, you think Hayes has a shot at the dunk contest? Oh, most definitely, guys. Most definitely. By the way, has anybody seen the slate of the NBA dunk contest participants? Have you guys seen this? This is truly a travesty, y'all. Like this event has fallen off the face of planet Earth. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys who the fuck are these guys, man? This is a mid-off. Who's excited for the dunk contest? I want to know right now. I'm not excited for it. I'll be rooting Jackson Hayes on, but am I excited for it? No. Jackson Hayes could definitely win. These guys are all mid, in my opinion. I'm sick of the dunk contest being a role player dunk off. I think they should just scrap it as a whole, if this is what it's going to be. And they should just bring on the 1v1 tournaments and put a big cash prize at the end of it so that the best 1v1 players could play each other and find out who the best 1v1 player in the world is. This is horrible, y'all. This dunk contest, there's no marquee names. Even though we have a Laker there, I'm just hoping Jackson doesn't embarrass us, man. That's all. He better get up there. He better do the South Bay, the East Bay, the North Bay. He better do all the Bay dunks. But, like, how creative can a 7-footer get? We'll see. We'll find out. But the rest of these guys, like, oh, man. These are in-game dunkers, man. I don't know how creative they can be. I don't know, man. This is bad, y'all. The All-Star event has the dunk contest especially has fallen off the face of the planet Earth. Usually there's at least one good dunker. Like last year, I think we had Mac McClung. The last couple of years we've had him. There's at least one. This year, I don't see any headliners out here. I don't see nobody. And even Mac McClung was questionable because everybody was like, wait, isn't he on the G League? You know, so I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, come on, fam. Who do you guys think is going to win this dunk contest, though, man? This whole All-Star event weekend is I'm not really looking forward to it, man. I got Valentine's Day on Saturday anyway, so I'm not going to be here for it. I'll probably watch the replay if it's good, but nah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. As D Free says, nuking confidence is weird. We have several guys on this team that have developed really nicely alongside him. Rui, AR, Jax, Max. Previously, AR got his contract because LeBron and AD demanded it. Yeah, no. Nobody gets their confidence nuked. Is there more pressure playing with a megastar? Yes, but that's any megastar. Well, you think the role players in Golden State didn't feel the pressure playing with Curry? You think the role players in LA didn't feel pressure playing with Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Like any superstar is going to demand greatness. So obviously it's not going to be easy for them. But yeah, as far as to say, like, I just feel like people are just looking to say something hateful about somebody they don't like. But let's put some context behind it. Like, LeBron's always been a player that people like playing alongside because he's a passer too. He's not necessarily a scoring type superstar. He's a playmaker. So playmakers elevate the confidence of everybody. Same with Luka. There's already rumors of elite big men wanting to play with Luka. I think one of those is Walker Kessler. there's already rumors of big men around the NBA that want to pair up with Luka because yes, he's a primary scorer, but he's also a primary playmaker. He's the guy that'll average 30 and 10 with the right lob threat, with the right cutters, with the right shooters, right? And so these guys don't nuke anybody's confidence. I've seen a lot of people call Luka a ball hog. Some people say, I seen some comments earlier. I don't pay much attention, but people say stuff like, oh, we're not going to talk about LeBron ball hogging. It's like, what? Why we always got anything negative to say? We won by 20. Why is anybody mad about that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just I don't know. You can't be mad about it. Yeah, you can be mad about LeBron's lack of defense. That's fine. Call him out there. You can be, even though he's 41, going on 42. You can be mad at a lot of different things, but his playmaking isn't one of them. He said an issue with LeBron might be him passing a bit too much. There you go. See, that's something that has more credibility to it, more than him ball hogging. Like that's the first time I've seen that. Sharon says Kobe and MJ were both more ruthless with expectations from teammates than LeBron. Exactly. I don't know. This league has gotten soft. If your confidence gets shaken because LeBron yelled at you, it's like, bro, you're in the professionals. You've been getting yelled at your entire career. One player should not shake your confidence. If anything, it should motivate you to improve and get better and become a better player. I think Austin Reeves recently told a story. I read it somewhere where he told Phil Handy, to tell LeBron to lay off of him because he's going in on him a little too hard. And then Phil Handy, I think it was Phil Handy, turns around and tells him he's only hard on you because he sees greatness in you and he's trying to pull it out. So Austin Reeves is pretty great. And, players like LeBron empower a player like Austin Reeves. Matter of fact, I give kudos to LeBron because Austin Reeves wouldn't have panned out the way he did if LeBron didn't give him the green light to go out there and do his thing. LeBron wants his teammates to shake and bake. LeBron wants his teammates to be aggressive, score, shoot. That's what he wants. So, I don't know. Has anyone seen Jace Richardson? If he's good, like his father, Jason Richardson? I haven't really seen him, bro, like that, to be honest. Vic, I haven't seen him, brother. I have not seen Jace Richardson, but I'm curious. We'll see. Hopefully somebody puts on a show and surprises us, man. It can happen. It's like when you go to the movies and you watch that movie that you didn't expect to be good, and then all of a sudden it's like, damn, okay. That movie was pretty damn good, better than I thought. I remember a long time ago, I went to go see Kick-Ass. I didn't see a trailer for it, nothing. And it blew me away, and I loved the movie. So, hopefully the dunk contest, the three-point shootout, whatever, is one of those events that kind of like, surprised us and snuck up. I doubt it. Low expectations, but we'll see. We'll still be watching. LeBron should punch Dalton too. Maybe he doesn't see the greatness in Dalton, man. Let's be honest. Me personally, when we first drafted Dalton, I didn't know diddly squat about him. I didn't watch college that year, none of it. So I didn't know nothing about Dalton. Everybody recommended him to me, say he's going to be special, he's going to be amazing. I'm like, all right, we'll see. They got me hyped about him. And then he went during the beginning of the season, and he was looking like everybody said. And then I don't know what happened to this guy, man. He went to the sunken place or something because he just completely changed. He went from Dalton Knecht to Luke Dalton, okay? He forgot how to shoot, how to score. He forgot everything. And I don't know. He never played defense. He didn't ever have a handle. At first, he showed a little bit of athleticism. He was getting to the rim and finishing, but that all went away. And Dalton Knecht turned into Luke Walton Knecht. And he stopped connecting with our hearts, man. I was a big fan of his about the first 2 months of his NBA career. And then after that, I still support him even now. I wish him the best, but I don't think he's ever going to pan out at this point. I think he's in the sunken place. Once you go in there, you're basically the next Adam Morrison. Hard to come off of that. The only thing that can save his career, I think, is if he gets traded or cut, he goes to a different team, probably a rebuilding team, and they just give him the green light and he turns out to be something. That's about it. But outside of that, man, I don't know. I have little hopes, almost no hopes for Dalton, man. I've almost given up on him. Almost. Now, if he shows me something, then maybe we might revisit this conversation, but I don't know. Need to take Dalton's minutes? Who needs to take his minutes and why? Who's that? Gabe Vincent Knecht in the three-point contest? Come on, NBA. Either send Dalton to Miami, probably the only place that can salvage him. Maybe. But a lot of it has, you know what I see from a lot of players? They come into the NBA and they feel like they've made it. They feel like that's the end of the journey. Honestly, that's just the beginning. You just walked in the door. You still have to sit down and settle in, right? They didn't make it just because they made it to the NBA. They made it further than 99% of hoopers trying to make it, but you're still in the bottom percentile when it comes to carving out your niche and actually turning into a ball player. So, yeah. No, Austin Reeves always was a dog. We saw it day one. Austin Reeves was a dog, and even I called it. I said, this kid is going to be amazing, man. Day one of Summer League. That's all it took for me to be sold on him. Dalton, I had my questions. He surprised me at times and then fell off the cliff, man. Fell off the face of the earth, and I don't know where he's gone. Somebody put out an APB out for Dalton Knecht, the one that we drafted, not this one. I don't know who this one is. This one got cloned and swapped out or some shit because this kid, he ain't connecting with our hearts somewhere. I don't know what happened to Dalton. I'm actually sad about it because he was the top draft pick. So that's back-to-back years that we whiffed on a pick. First, it was Jalen Heshafino, or we could have had Jaime Jaquez or somebody else, and now it's Dalton Knecht. So that's back-to-back, man. Back-to-back picks we whiffed on. He said Dalton is also being misused. He's not a spot-up shooter. Seems more like a rhythm scorer that can shoot. Maybe so, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe a change of scenery might get him going, but I don't know because on this team, he sucks, man. Whenever they give him the green light, he comes in here and puts up bricks left and right, doesn't play defense, can't dribble. What can he do? We drafted a professional scorer, and I'll tell you, I'll take Luke Kennard 10 times out of 10 times over Dalton Knecht right now, even though obviously one is young and the other one is a little bit older, but I'll still take Kennard. I heard fans want to see Hayes dunk on a mascot he pushed. Oh, man. That's funny. Now, that's some creativity right there. Imagine if this was all a setup. Imagine if the NBA is doing a gimmick and the whole suing talk is a setup just for the dunk contest, and then they pull off that gimmick. That would be insane. That would actually be entertaining, though. It would. Last time a Laker won the contest was Kobe. I know, bro. I remember the last time Shannon Brown. Who remembers Shannon Brown? When he went to the dunk contest, he embarrassed us, man. He did some in-game, regular-ass dunks, and I was actually – it was secondhand embarrassment. You know when you're not in the room, but you feel like you are, and you're embarrassed? And you're like, oh, man. Like that Wanna Get Away commercial? It was bad, man. It was bad. You see Gabe Vincent with a bagel again in Atlanta? Really? He's putting up bagels? Oh, 2 points, okay. But damn, that's still crazy, man. I'm not surprised. But I don't know what happened to Gabe either. He was never the same after the injury or after he joined the Lakers. Sunken place. Another player. He was the third best player in the Miami Heat team that went to the finals behind Bam and Jimmy. Right? Because I think Tyler Hero was hurt. He was the third best player. How you go from that to being completely unplayable is beyond me. But hey, I don't know, man. They need an NBA shrink out there, and Dalton needs to sign up for it too. A low IQ player. Yeah, man, you told me that a long time ago, D-Frey. I remember you told me that a long time ago, and I was like, damn, he does have some low IQ. I didn't want to see it. But I remember you told me that, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I wanted to really believe in Dalton, but he's shown me more than enough negative games. You know? Prince at DK rookie year shows very lethal mid-range game as well. Athleticism, too. All those went down the drain. How does that happen? Is you guys think it's just lack of caring, or is this really they need an NBA shrink in there to get them right? He said LeBron said you can't. He said you can just see if someone has it or doesn't, and Dalton clearly don't got the IQ. It's tough, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But you know what? We do got a Lakers W, baby. And on that note, I'm gonna let you guys rock, man. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. This video was brought to you and sponsored by Prize Picks, promo code DTLF. I think we won some money tonight. I think we might have hit, we didn't hit all, but I think we did a flex pick. Yeah, we definitely pulled a 20 piece out of there. So that's what's up. Appreciate you guys so much, man. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys subscribe over on my second channel as well, Primetime TV, as well as this one. And, you know, we're going to go from there, man. I'm not sure if I'll cover any of the All-Star events, but I might react to some of them. All right? So stay tuned for that. And if I do go live, it'll be on Primetime TV, all right, to live react to any of the events. I don't know if they get interesting, then we'll go. Oh, wait, before I get off, I love movie questions. He said, movie question. How do you feel about He-Man trailer? You know what? I'm not old enough to have watched He-Man. I'm still younger than that. My brothers used to love that, though. So I'd have to ask them what they felt about it because I had never seen a single episode of He-Man. But I know it's iconic in the late 80s. I don't know if it was early 90s, you know? So, yeah, I wasn't born in the late 80s. So, yet. I wasn't born yet. So, I don't know how to feel about it. I hope it's cool, though. I'll watch it if it's cool, even though I never saw the cartoon ever in my life. I don't know how I feel about Jared Leto playing Skeletor, though. Jared Leto is a bad actor. Great singer. Great artist. 30 Seconds to Mars. Horrible actor, man. I've hated everything he's ever in. So maybe he'll change it. This will be the uprising of his career, but I completely hate the fact that they even how do you cast Jared Leto, man? How do you do that? You might as well cast me with no acting experience. Jared Leto is that bad, fam. That bad. But all right, chat. I do appreciate you guys, man. Thank you again so much, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And if I see y'all over on Primetime tonight, then I'll see y'all there, all right, for some gaming action. Otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend. Happy All-Star weekend. And I'll be tapping in throughout the weekend. All right. Have a good one, guys.